Some breaking news about those two men who've been gunned down in Sydney's southwest as the city's gun war takes yet another deadly turn. They were just a few minutes apart, these two shooting incidents.
In the heart of Sydney's vibrant and bustling suburbs, the shadows of crime and violence can sometimes loom larger than life. The murder of 18-year-old Bassil Hijazi, a young man affiliated with the notorious Comanchero bikie gang, is a chilling testament to this unsettling reality. At the centre of this tragedy is Joseph Gatt, a drug dealer whose path intersected with Hijazi's in a deadly confrontation. This video delves into the sequence of events that culminated in Hijazi's murder, the ensuing trial, and the broader implications for Sydney's ongoing battle against gang violence. In the summer of 2013, the streets of Sydney witnessed a violent escalation that set the stage for the murder of Bassil Hijazi. Joseph Gatt, a 24-year-old drug dealer, and Basel Hijazi, associated with the Comanchero bikie gang, were not known to have any animosity before a series of violent confrontations began. The tension between them began with what appeared to be an isolated confrontation at a 7-Eleven store in May 2013, an event that would unravel into a deadly spiral of violence and retaliation. Just a month later, on June 12, 2013, Gatt and his girlfriend were shot at while sitting inside a Toyota Hiace parked at a McDonald's in Lakemba. This attack seemed to set off a chain reaction, with Gatt perceiving it as an act of aggression linked to Hijazi or his associates. While no direct connection between Hijazi and the initial attack was established, Gatt's belief that the shooting was linked to Hijazi fueled a motive for revenge. The subsequent weeks were marked by a dramatic escalation. On July 16th, 2013, Hijazi was the target of an attempted murder. As he sat in his car on Prince Street, Bexley, two vehicles pursued and trapped him in a dimly lit area. The assailants fired up to 6 rounds into Hijazi's vehicle, hitting him in the neck. Remarkably, Hijazi managed to escape and seek help from a nearby home, displaying a surprising level of composure given the severity of the attack. Despite the gravity of the situation, Hijazi's reaction in fact was notably relaxed. He did not retreat or alter his lifestyle significantly after the attack. This nonchalant attitude baffled his friends and acquaintances. They observed Hijazi going about his daily activities, such as getting a haircut shortly after being released from the hospital, which indicated that he did not allow the initial shooting to disrupt his routine. This behaviour was interpreted as a sign of Hijazi's resolve not to be intimidated. However, this approach, whether brave or misguided, ultimately proved inadequate in shielding him from further violence. The situation reached its tragic climax on July 29, 2013. Hijazi was again targeted, this time in a car park behind Fusion Gym in Bexley, a short distance from the location of the earlier attack. Around 9:30 PM, Hijazi was shot 7 times at close range while seated in his blue Mitsubishi Lancer. Despite the prompt response from paramedics, who treated him at the scene before transporting him to St George Hospital, Hijazi succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead upon arrival. The attack was carried out by Gatt and his associate George Borg. The pair approached Hijazi's car and, without warning, fired the fatal shots that would end Hijazi's life. The investigation into Hijazi's murder eventually led to the arrest of Joseph Gatt and George Borg. Gatt was charged with Hijazi's murder, and the trial revealed the complexities of the case. The prosecution argued that Hijazi's murder was an act of revenge by Gatt, who had been informed that a close associate of Hijazi was responsible for the earlier drive-by shooting that targeted him and his girlfriend. The trial highlighted a key point of contention: the mystery of who fired the fatal shots. While Gatt was charged with the murder, the defence argued that George Borg was the one who actually pulled the trigger. Borg, a close friend of Gatt, had already been sentenced for his role in the murder and had testified against Gatt. The prosecution's case relied heavily on Borg's testimony, which alleged that the attack on Hijazi was carried out in retaliation for the earlier shooting. Gatt's defence, on the other hand, contended that Gatt was not armed and that it was Borg who fired the shots. This discrepancy added a layer of complexity to the trial, leaving the jury to decide who was responsible for the murder. Ultimately, Gatt was found guilty of murder and received a maximum 28-year jail term with a non-parole period of 21 years. In January 2016, while waiting for a sentence, Joseph Gatt became embroiled in another violent incident. A brawl erupted between Gatt and Damien George, a fellow inmate at Goulburn Correctional Centre. The fight, captured on CCTV, showed Gatt and George exchanging brutal blows against a chain-link fence, with Gatt ultimately emerging as the aggressor. The confrontation drew significant attention due to its brutal nature and the high-risk environment of Goulburn Jail. The fight underscored the ongoing volatility within the prison system, where violent conflicts among inmates are not uncommon. The fight ended when a prison guard fired a warning shot to disperse the inmates. Gatt received an additional 22 months on his sentence for his role in the fight. Damien George, the inmate who fought Gatt, was serving a sentence for a violent crime committed in 2007. George had shot his ex-girlfriend, Rosanna Robertson, in the head during a domestic dispute. Her survival and subsequent recovery were nothing short of miraculous. Despite being shot in the cerebellum, Robertson managed to drag herself to safety and receive medical attention. After the attack, she faced significant challenges, including the loss of independence and the need for extensive rehabilitation. Through sheer determination and the support of her young son, Robertson defied medical predictions and gradually regained her ability to walk and perform daily tasks. Robertson's story is one of incredible strength and transformation that starkly contrasts the brutality of the violence that ensnared both George and Gatt. She has since used her experience to raise awareness about brain injuries and domestic violence, advocating for those who have faced similar struggles. She turned her personal tragedy into a source of inspiration. The murder of Bassil Hijazi and the subsequent trial of Joseph Gatt underscore the severe impact of gang-related violence on communities. The brutal nature of the attacks, the complex legal proceedings, and the ongoing violence within the prison system all highlight the urgent need for effective measures to address gang crime. The call for action is not just about seeking justice for individuals like Hijazi, but also about addressing the broader issue of gang violence that plagues cities like Sydney. The plea from Hijazi's mother for justice and her call for getting guns off the streets reflect the broader community concern about the escalating violence. As Sydney grapples with the challenge of controlling gang-related crime, the need for comprehensive strategies to combat gang violence and ensure the safety of residents remains a critical issue. The brutal events surrounding Hijazi's murder, coupled with the ongoing challenges faced by individuals like Rosanna Robertson, underscore the importance of addressing both the symptoms and the root causes of violent crime in our communities. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more stories from the Australian underworld. Till next time, take care.